Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 305. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Thank you for listening to the blogcast. Today's blog is about creativity. It is in response to an article that was in the New York Times, which I only sort of dip into occasionally. I'm not a loyal New York Times reader for many reasons. But this was pointed out to me by a fellow artist. If you would like to get a jump on what I'm talking about here, you can read the article, maybe while you listen. No, that'd be weird. It's hard to read and listen at the same time. But you can read it in the New York Times. It is called "We Have a Creativity Problem." So I'll link to it in the show notes, but if you want to Google, that'll get you there too. It was about a month ago in the New York Times. So if you're reading it on paper, for example, you may want to look sort of like mid-April-ish, I think it was. It's an interesting article. Problematic, probably, but what the heck. So here it is. It is called, "Do People Really Have an Aversion to Creativity?" The science in it seems sketchy, and it's not clear which people this may be true for. But the New York Times put out this article about how there's a creativity problem. And it feels true to me. Obviously, my feelings are not good science, but if what this article posits is correct, a lot of people have a subconscious aversion to, or are pretty ambivalent about, creativity. They'll say they like it, that they want it, that creativity is valuable to them. Then underneath, their subconscious seems to reflect the opposite experience. All the questions about methodology and sample sizes aside, if this is true, it does explain a few things. It explains why people's stated values are so different than their actual values. It explains why people can say they support the arts while cutting all the arts programs. It explains why here in the States we have no arts funding to speak of, because even though people say they like creative people and things, they don't, actually. One of the theories that got floated in the article was that most people really prefer the status quo, and art is disruptive. That is, it's especially disruptive if it is innovative or creative. That is, if it's more than just decorative, it's probably shaking things up. Maybe that's why people associated creativity with a word like vomit. Vomit is also very disruptive. Maybe people's subconsciouses were going super deep when they went this way. It's not that they don't like art. They're just making word association visceral metaphors, says the artist who likes to make metaphors. The article suggested that even when companies declared that they valued creativity in their staff, in truth, they tended to revert to the status quo when hiring because middle managers don't like novelty. This is not a surprise to me. I know arts middle managers who don't like novelty or innovation, and they're theoretically in creative fields. I guess we live in a world of middle managers, even in the arts. This difference in people's stated values feels true to me because while some people are charmed by my creative life choices when they meet me at parties, there is often a kind of underlying hostility about it that I've never been able to understand. I thought it was a kind of jealousy, like everyone really wants to be as creative as they were when they were children, and so it gets expressed as resentment to adults. But it may be this disgust, I suppose, this association with vomit or other negative words. It may be a subconscious resistance to status quo disruptors. I've seen people get really mean in online discussions of artist housing that I've seen. They call us freeloaders who should get no special treatment and tell artists to get real jobs. There are some people who'd just rather we didn't create. I guess there are more of those than I realized. That's kind of a bummer. I suppose I understand. maybe my subconscious hates my creativity too. I doubt it. I'm a pretty clear outlier in these things. Creativity is messy. You can theoretically want your kids to be creative, for example, but then not let them paint without the smock and the drop cloth and the mop at hand. And really, it would be easier to just not get into this painting activity. Let's just watch a video. You can think music is pretty cool, but oh, those drums are so noisy, and please stop playing that harmonica. And why are we hearing that same phrase over and over? Art makes a mess. Sometimes you can dress it up and put it on a stage with an orchestra and invite people in fur coats to come and see. But even the most refined work is messy at some point. It is inconvenient. It can bring something back up that you were hoping to never see again. But of course, people expressing a kind of ambivalence about creativity as a concept, as a preference, doesn't mean they don't actually like art, or don't engage with disruptive work, or don't respond to creativity in performance. They might love it when they see it, actually. No ambivalence. I suspect that folks might like art, actually, but just don't really trust us artists. That's okay. I really don't trust middle managers. The feeling is mutual. It's funny, in thinking about parents that I've seen in recent years kind of freaking out over their kids like finger painting or whatever, I realize how incredibly, I gotta say, cool my parents were about all of the mess and all of the noise that I made as a child. I was born to some good ones. So in trying to figure out what song should go here, I was thinking, what's a song about, like, being creative and being, like, truly yourself? And, in the face of people who associate the word vomit with creativity. I'm sorry I keep returning to that, but it's a very evocative image. So I thought, I had been thinking about learning What I Am by Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. I tried to learn it last summer, but I was, I think, away with just my ukulele, and it just didn't work on ukulele. I was like, this song needs a guitar. And since I'm in a guitar phase, I thought now might be the moment. And I think that the spirit of the song about being what one is, it lines up with living a creative life. So I have learned it, and it will be here shortly. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like the podcast, please tell someone about it. Share it on the social media, review, like, subscribe, all the things. If you would like to support it, you can share. That's supportive. You can also donate money via patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's also Ko-fi. There's PayPal. All those links are in the show notes. I feel like I would have liked to have had one more week to practice this song. I think I could have used some thicker calluses because I was like, I would like to maybe, give this one more go. And then I realized that my little finger was really close to just splitting open. So, so creativity is messy, y'all. It is. Here we go, So here it is, today's exploration of Edie Brickell's What I Am. I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Philosophy is a talk on a cereal box. Religion is a smile on a dog. I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. To do ya choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Philosophy is a walk on a slippery rocks. Religion is a light in the fog. I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. To do ya choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what you are is what I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. Ha la la la. I say, I do, hey, 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 hey. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. Don't let me 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 get too deep. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what you are is what I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what. Oh what you are, oh what you are, oh.